The project responds to the site by essentially embracing its location, but in a way it's not sited on the ground, so its location is 11 stories up, and that makes its site and context very unique and unusual, but also not so much a grounded experience of location, but a sliver of space up in the air is really what the site is. Hi, I'm Madeleine Blanchfield of Madeleine Blanchfield Architects. I was the architect and interior designer for this project, along with Alex Pritchard, the project architect, and Amber Lush, the head of interiors from our studio. This project is located in Darling Point in Sydney. We're on level 11 of a 1970s apartment building. It's almost like a three-pronged star, so it has three wings, and this apartment takes up two of the wings. One points out to the ocean almost at the northern side of Darling Point, and the other towards the south back into the urban side. This project was quite unusual. The clients were existing clients of ours, and sadly their parents had passed away and a few of the siblings had inherited this property. So they took a risk and bravely decided to renovate before selling. And the brief then meant that we didn't have a client because we knew the apartment would be sold. And it was simply just make this apartment as good as you possibly can. Initially, the apartment was very decrepit, hadn't been touched for a long time. Carpet, red walls, fake fireplace right in the view of the Harbour Bridge and Opera House. So we started out trying to work out how many walls we could reasonably remove. And amazingly, we worked out that the building had a concrete ExoSkeleton. So all the structure is on the outside, which essentially meant that we could take out all the walls. That led us to thinking about maybe treating the whole living area as an indoor-outdoor space so that it could be all balcony or all enclosed. And I think that's probably one of the greatest features of this apartment. So the apartment has actually two entries, which is quite unusual, but I think at some point it was two apartments joined together. So you walk in from the shared lift lobby, open the door, and we've created a round portico to try and just slow that moment down and create a bit of a sense of arrival, which is not always easy to do in an apartment. You then step into a lowered ceiling space, to the left of which is the built-in travertine dining table, and to the right of which is the travertine kitchen. We toyed a lot with the right location for the kitchen and which way you'd want to be facing when you were in there. And it made sense that you'd be oriented towards the city view. And then those two spaces are slightly more recessed and have a bit of definition. Then you walk forwards into the main living area, which is we call it the indoor-outdoor room. So it's got small travertine tiles on the floor, and it really feels like it could be a balcony. In the bedroom wing, we actually kept a lot of the internal walls because the layout was quite suited to a 4-bedroom house. And given the era of the building, plumbing and services were very hard to relocate. So we worked in with the existing spaces there as much as we could. We were very conscious when designing the apartment, and especially because we didn't know who would ultimately live in it, that it had to be functional for any person to use. So it has a plethora of hidden practicalities. It's got a bar behind bifold doors, it's got appliance cupboards behind bifold doors, walk-in pantry, all the mod cons and things you would expect from a really high quality apartment, but they're not necessarily on show. It's really incredible to walk into this space, I think possibly more so than any project I've ever worked on, because it is mind-blowingly spectacular, the actual space, which is not necessarily anything to do with us, but the fact that we were able to uncover that, something that we're really happy with. It also just has a sense of absolute calm and serenity, which is what we were after. You never quite can be sure that you're going to achieve it, but it just feels magical in here and you never want to leave.